This is part 8 of our Intranet Contributors series. And in this little video, I want to talk about the lookup lists that we're using as choice columns in our libraries and in our apps. Now, there's different ways of doing what I would call reusable content. And the one is to build a choice column on an app, which is just a drop down. The second level up would be to build a lookup list, which is a list on your current site. And from the app, you then look at this list. The third one would be a site column, which is one level up. Site columns I can see across sites and sub-sites. And of course, the top level and the granddaddy of reusable content would be the term store. So I didn't set up a term store for this intranet, and I've definitely written about that before, so you can have a look at my blog. But for now, I'm going to just look at the lookup lists that we've created. So in my site content, you'll see that I've got a lookup list for departments, lookup list for document types, and lookup lists for galleries, which means I have a separate little custom list that is maintained, and this little custom list is used across my site for any of the apps that I want to use that same drop down. Lookup lists are not available for sub-sites. So as soon as I build a sub-site below the site, I won't be able to see that list anymore. But I'm kind of like quite happy with lookup lists on this intranet of mine. But of course, as mentioned, way up from that would be the term store. I would definitely suggest using the term store. As a normal contributor, you might not have access to the term store. So there might be a process in your company where you have to request a new item to be added to the term store, a new term or term set. So let's take a look at the lookup list. So firstly, when I created this lookup list, and that was part of the previous series, I firstly created the items, and I then created a view that shows everything alphabetically, and it shows more than 30 items, because otherwise if your list is longer than 30, it's going to cut those off. And then what I did is on some of the document libraries or apps, I used that lookup list. So just to explain how that works again, is I went to the brain, and on the brain, I went and added a lookup list. And that column then points to that list. So to maintain your lookup lists, you'd add items in the lookup list, not in the library. So don't get confused with that. If I want another department drop down in my library, I would go and add it on the lookup list. But you've got to make sure that your intranet's actually built that way. So going to the settings then on my library, let's have a quick look. There you can see there's my lookup. See there, department, document types. So that means if I go to department, it's actually pointing at that lookup list. There we go, lookup list department, and it's pointing at the title column. So this is not where I would add new ones. I would actually add it on the physical lookup list itself. So let's just test that theory. I'm going to go to lookup list departments, and I'm going to create a new department for, let's think about this. We've got finance, human resources, information technology, marketing, operations, procurement. So let's create one for staff welfare. I don't know if we can create a department like that. So on my lookup list, I've added staff welfare. Now look at this. If I go back to my site contents and I go back to that library, you'll see that that list and that drop down is then available. So let's just select that document. And let's go to the info panel and see if staff welfare is there. And of course, under staff welfare, I mean things like giving us motorbikes and beer and days off. So that's what I meant with staff welfare. So so there we'll go. At the moment, it's picked human resources, right? But let's just have a look and say, hey, there's staff welfare. So you can update items in the separate lookup lists. And that means that all the apps and services, or all the apps that are using those lookup lists, are then updated to be able to use that property as well. And that's how easy lookup lists are. Definitely have written quite a lot of blogs about it. So if you need some more information, you can have a look there. And then, yes, that's lookup lists. So I think next up, we are going to be just taking a deeper look into your document library. And that will cover things like folders and quick edit and uploading and check in and check out and setting up alerts. So we're going to catch up soon.